American history. This was by design, despite years of claiming to care about the election security. They refused
All right,
to
we are
include
back.
any requirement
I
to
rewound it
verify
a little bit.
signatures, identities, or even determine whether they're eligible
Just had a little
or
bit of a failure
ineligible
going
to
on.
vote. People are walking in there.
But
they
here
have
we
no
are.
idea.
We're
They just
back. Liz
taken
watching it again.
numbers. They're writing down things, the workers, and doing a lot of bad things. And we have a lot of information coming and litigation that you'll see that will
We already showed
shake
one
even
example
you
of an
people up, and You've
image.
seen it all. The officials overseeing
Look,
the counting
Trump
in
says he's being
Pennsylvania
cheated.
and other
Biden
key
says
states are
count
all
every
part
vote.
of a corrupt Democrat machine that you've written about, and for a long time you've been writing about the corrupt Democrat machine. I went to
Pause it
school
again.
there, and I know a lot about it. It hasn't changed. It's a long time ago.
Why is that open?
Hasn't
It's so
changed. It's
weird.
gotten worse. In Pennsylvania, partisan Democrats have allowed ballots in the state to be received 3 days after the election, and we think much more than that. And they're counting those.
Not even
without
3 days
even
past the election.
postmarks
What?
or any
But
identification.
they haven't counted those
whatsoever.
votes yet. That's the thing.
So you
They
don't
have
have
not
postmarks, you don't
counted
have
those
identification.
votes.
There have been a number of disturbing
They've sequestered
irregularities
those.
across
They're going
the
to count
nation.
those afterwards.
Campaign has been denied.
And I
access
guarantee
to
you that if
observe
Trump loses this vote, he's going to
any
be like, well, why
counting
don't
in
you count
Detroit.
those votes then?
Detroit
They'll make
is
the
another
same
place.
argument.
And I wouldn't say it has the best reputation for election integrity. Poll workers in Michigan were duplicating ballots, but when our observers attempted to challenge the activity, those poll workers jumped in front of the volunteers to block their view so that they couldn't see what they were doing.
He
And
hates
it became
American democracy.
A little bit dangerous.
Period.
One major hub for counting ballots in Detroit covered up the windows again with large pieces of cardboard, and so they wanted to protect and block the counting area. They
Oh,
didn't
here we
want
go
anybody
again.
seeing the counting, even though these
Why
were
is this
observers
opening
who were
here?
legal observers that were supposed to be there. In Detroit, there were
My
hours
computers
of
and
unexplained
my
delay
dragging
in
and
delivering
dropping
many of the votes for
skills are
counting.
terrible today. I'm
The
having
final
a
ballots
lot
did
of
not arrive
problems
until 4 in the
dragging, dragging things
even though
across
the polls closed
monitors.
at 8 o'clock, so they
It's
brought
very
it in,
frustrating.
and the batches came in, and nobody knew where they came from. We've also been denied
Batches are
access
crazy.
to observe in critical places in Georgia. In multiple swing states, counting was halted for hours and hours on election night, with results withheld from major Democrat-run locations only to appear later. And they suddenly appeared, and they all had the name Biden on them, or just about all. I think almost all.
They had almost like
They all had
90%
the name
because
Biden on 'em.
you told your voters
It's a
to
little
not
strange. I
cast
challenge
absentees and vote in
Joe and
person.
every Democrat.
Democrats are like, we're going to go
clarify that they only want
vote
legal votes,
absentee. We're going to mail in vote.
because they talk about votes.
That's
and I think
why.
they should use the
If
word
you
legal,
would have
legal
encouraged your
votes.
people to
We
mail in
want
vote, more
every
mail in
legal
votes would have
vote
been.
counted, and I want every legal vote counted. We want openness and
You
transparency.
did not.
No secret count rooms, no mystery ballots, no illegal votes being cast after Election Day. You have Election
Election
Day. And the laws
Day.
are very strong on that. You have an Election Day, and they don't want votes cast after Election Day, and they want the process to be an honest one. It's so important. We want an honest election, and we want an honest
No,
count.
you don't. You don't want an honest
And we
election
want
or an honest
people
count.
working back there, because it's a very important job. So that's the way this country is going to win. That's the way the United States will win, and we think we will win the election very easily. We think there's going
Very
to be
easily,
a lot
no.
of litigation, because we have.
If
so
you have to
much
do a lot of
evidence, so much
litigation,
proof.
it's not very easily. And if you have to
And,
litigate your way to the
perhaps
presidency, you
the
don't
highest
deserve
court
the
of
office.
land. We'll see, but we think there'll be a lot of litigation, because we can't have an election stolen like this. And I tell you, I have been talking about this for many months with all of you, and I've said very strongly that mail-in ballots are going to end up
strong.
being a disaster. Small elections were a disaster. Small, very easy to handle elections were disastrous. This is a large-scale version, and it's getting worse and worse every day. We're hearing stories that are horror stories, absolute horror stories, and we can't let that happen to the United States of America. It's not a question of who wins, Republican, Democrat, Joe, myself. We can't let that happen to our country. We can't be disgraced by having something like this happen. So it will be hopefully cleared up, maybe soon, I hope soon, but it'll probably go through a process, a legal process. And as you know, I've claimed certain states. And
Yeah, there you go. He claimed the states. That has no legal basis or legal meaning whatsoever. You have not claimed
But there's been a
anything.
lot of
I
shenanigans,
claim
and
his
we
land for
can't,
Spain.
stand for that in our
Do you have a
country.
flag?
Thank you very much.
No questions. He's not taking any questions. He's just running away like a coward. Is Kayleigh No, Kayleigh's not going to say anything either. She's just going to walk back and spread her COVID as well. Oh, this guy. He is just falling apart at the seams. He is absolutely falling apart at the seams. We are watching his sanity, whatever sanity he had, is just devolving into a stream of madness that I don't. I mean, one would have hoped that they would have already invoked the 25th Amendment when it comes to this, but they did not. Because again, Pence is never going to do anything. These people are sycophants. They're never going to do what's needed to be done. And that's why the American people need to step up and do what's needed to be done. And as it looks like, I'm hesitantly, cautiously optimistic that I can agree with like the James Carvilles of the world and everybody else that are saying that as soon as all of these votes are counted, that we will see a president-elect, that we will see Donald Trump, the end of an era, if you will. I'm not quite ready to call him the president-elect yet. I'm not ready to state that he will be the 46th president. Okay, there's that idiot shirt that was like, make 45 46 again, or something like that. Like, why would he become the 46th president if there was nobody in between? It's just bizarre. Anyway, thank everybody watching. There's a couple of people tuned in. If you're watching afterwards, again, remember to subscribe to the channel, like this, share it with your friends. Remember, please stay safe, mask up, stay socially distant. And if it turns out that we get Biden in the White House and we got 2 runoff seats in for the Georgia Senate, or for the Senate from Georgia, we need to fight like hell for that too. And that will be more on that later. Maybe I'll come back live again if it does turn out that we get the news that we all want to see tonight. We'll see. I have a writing class between 7 and 9. So if it does happen, I'm actually hoping that if it does happen, it happens after 9. So that I can go back live here and be like, woohoo! But I'm not there yet.